Hey warrior, have you ever met someone who seemed hard to read? Someone who doesn't show their emotions easily, who keeps their thoughts close to their chest, and yet carries a depth you can almost feel, but never fully see. That's the quiet mystery of the inner world, what we often call living inwardly or being an inner soul. In this video, we'll explore what it really means to be an inward person. We'll talk about the signs, the struggles, and the hidden beauty of living with such a deep, private heart. Many people assume that those who are quiet are cold or distant. But the truth is often the opposite. They may not shout their feelings to the world, but when you look closer, you'll find sincerity, loyalty, and a warmth that runs deeper than appearances can show. Think about it in a noisy world where everyone is competing to be heard. There are those who choose silence, not because they have nothing to say, but because they value listening, reflecting, and speaking only when it truly matters. These are the people who might smile on the outside while carrying storms within. They might sit quietly in the corner, but their thoughts are richer and more complex than you realize. Over the next few minutes, I want to take you on a journey inside this inner life. We'll discover why some people live inwardly, how to recognize them, and most importantly, how to understand them. Because when you truly understand someone who lives this way, you don't just get to know a person, you unlock a whole universe of feeling care and thought that is rarely shared. Before we dive in, I'd love to connect with you. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching this from and what time is it for you right now? Are you watching late at night, in the early morning, or maybe during a quiet break in your day? I'd love to know how this message reaches you in your own moment of stillness. And if this video resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Together we explore not just philosophy and ideas, but the deeper layers of what it means to live, to feel, and to find peace inside ourselves. So, warrior, are you ready to step into the inner world? Let's begin. When we talk about an inward person, the first thing we often imagine is someone quiet, reserved, maybe even shy. But the truth is much more layered than that. Being inward isn't just about how much someone talks. It's about how deeply they feel, how carefully they choose what to share, and how much of their world remains invisible to others. To recognize an inward soul, you have to look beyond the surface, because what defines them is not loudness, but depth. One of the clearest signs is their way of holding emotions inside. Imagine a friend who, when they're sad, doesn't post about it, doesn't cry in front of everyone, and doesn't even tell the full story when you ask if they're okay. Instead, they keep the sadness folded within like a letter they're not ready to send. This isn't because they distrust you, but because their first instinct is to process everything privately. To the outside world, they might seem calm, unaffected, but inside, entire waves of thought and feeling are moving quietly, silently, shaping the way they see life. Another sign is their selective way of communicating. An inward person doesn't enjoy small talk. They don't feel the need to fill silence with meaningless words. If they speak, it's usually because the subject matters to them, because they care deeply about what's being discussed. If you ever notice someone who suddenly comes alive, when the conversation shifts to a passion, whether it's art, philosophy, or even a favorite book, that's often an inward soul revealing a piece of themselves. They might sit quietly during most group conversations, but when the topic touches their heart, their eyes brighten and their words become sincere. You'll also notice that inward souls are excellent listeners. While many people wait impatiently for their turn to speak, an inward person is actually listening, absorbing every detail of what you say, noticing your tone, your body language, even the pauses between your words. They may not respond right away with long speeches, But when they do, their reply is thoughtful and precise, almost as if they have been carrying your words inside them, turning them over like a gem in their hands before giving it back to you with clarity. But because of this quietness, they are often misunderstood as distant or hard to reach. To someone meeting them for the first time, their silence can feel intimidating. It's easy to assume they don't like you or that they're hiding something. In truth, what they're hiding is not mistrust, but vulnerability. They are cautious with their inner world, careful not to let just anyone step into it. And once you do step in, you realize how rich, how warm, and how loyal they can be. One fascinating trait is their ability to mask their emotions. Many inward souls learn to wear a smile even when they are in pain. Outwardly, they can laugh, joke, and seem perfectly fine, while inwardly carrying a burden they don't share. This ability to separate the outer appearance from the inner reality can make them look strong to the world, but also lonely because few people ever see their true feelings. It's not that they want to deceive, it's simply their way of protecting themselves. There's also a sense of contradiction in them. Sometimes they surprise you by being talkative, energetic, even playful. At first you might think, wait, aren't they supposed to be quiet? But this activity is often a temporary wave, a way of blending into the world when they need to. Underneath their inwardness remains. They might laugh with the crowd, but when the moment is over, they return to solitude, to reflection, to silence. Let's consider a simple, everyday example. Imagine you're at a party. Most people are chatting, laughing, moving from group to group. An inward soul is there too, but they aren't floating around the room. They're sitting with one or two people having a deep conversation, or perhaps standing silently by the window, watching the city lights. At first glance, someone might think they're antisocial, but the truth is, they're present in their own way. They're not interested in collecting many shallow interactions. They prefer a few meaningful ones. Another sign is how they deal with their own joys and sorrows. When they're happy, they don't always shout it out. They enjoy it quietly, like someone holding a secret flower blooming inside. When they're hurt, they rarely complain. They carry the pain within, turning it into reflection, sometimes even into art writing or music. Their world is an inner garden, beautiful but not always visible to the outside. This inwardness also shows up in the way they choose their relationships. They don't open up to everyone, and they don't easily trust. But when they do let someone in, it's with full sincerity. To them, friendship and love aren't games. They are sacred bonds. They might not shower you with words every day, but you'll feel their presence in small gestures, in the way they remember the little things you said, or in the quiet support they give when you need it most. And perhaps the most profound sign of all is the depth of their inner thought life. While others may rush through life distracted by noise, inward souls spend a lot of time reflecting. They think about meaning, about existence, about the emotions that shape people. Sometimes this makes them seem different or out of sync with the everyday world, but it also gives them wisdom and insight that others might not see. Recognizing these signs requires patience. You can't fully understand an inward person in a day. They're like a book, with pages hidden, revealed only when you earn their trust. To know them is to slow down, to listen deeply, to respect silence as much as words. And here's something important to remember. Inwardness is not weakness. It's not isolation. It's a form of strength, a way of preserving the richness of the heart in a world that often tries to flatten it. Inward souls remind us that life isn't only about speaking louder, moving faster, or showing everything. Sometimes the greatest power lies in quiet presence, in hidden depth, in emotions carried silently but sincerely. So the next time you meet someone who seems hard to read, don't rush to judge. Instead, ask yourself, could this be an inward soul? Could this quiet person be holding a world of meaning behind their eyes? If you take the time, you may discover not just a friend, but a rare kind of human connection, one built not on noise, but on depth. When we look closely at inward people, we discover that their uniqueness lies not in how much they say or do, but in the qualities of their heart and mind. To the casual observer, they may seem simple, quiet, reserved, mysterious. Yet beneath this surface lies a set of traits that make them some of the most profound and meaningful people you'll ever meet. Understanding these traits is like stepping into a hidden room where the air feels calmer, the light softer, and the silence richer. Let's explore these qualities one by one. One of the strongest traits is sincerity. Inward souls rarely pretend to be what they're not. They may not be outspoken, but when they do express something, it comes from a place of truth. They dislike superficial compliments or empty flattery. Instead, their words, though fewer, carry weight. If an inward person tells you they care, they mean it. If they promise something, they will quietly, diligently follow through. This sincerity makes their relationships rare and precious. You might not hear, "I love you" or "I care" every day, but when you do, you know those words have been chosen with care. Another defining trait is their emotional depth. Inward people feel things intensely, though they often hide it from the outside world. A small act of kindness can touch them deeply, and a careless word can wound them more than you realize. This depth makes them empathetic. They understand pain and joy in others because they've spent so much time reflecting on their own. While others move quickly past feelings, inward souls sit with them, letting emotions teach them about life. That's why, when you share your struggles with them, they don't just nod politely, they genuinely feel with you. Their way of caring is also unique. Instead of grand gestures or loud declarations, they show love in quiet, consistent ways. They might remember your favorite coffee and bring it to you on a stressful day. They might notice when you're unusually silent and send a message just to check in. These small acts often go unnoticed, but they are the purest form of care, done not for recognition, but because they sincerely want to support you. Then there is their reflective nature. Inward souls spend much time thinking about themselves, about others, about the meaning of events. They don't just move through life mechanically. They pause to ask, why or what does this mean? This reflection can make them wise beyond their years. They see patterns others miss. They notice connections between ideas, and they often have insights that surprise you with their clarity. But this same reflection can also make them overthink replaying moments endlessly in their minds. It is both their gift and their burden. A fascinating trait is their selective openness. Inward people don't open their hearts to just anyone. They guard their inner world carefully like a treasure chest. To most people, they may appear neutral, polite, reserved, but to the few they trust, they reveal a side that is warm, playful, even vulnerable. If you've ever seen an inward friend suddenly laugh loudly, share a silly story, or confess a hidden dream, you've glimpsed this precious inner side. The contrast is striking. What seems quiet on the outside is actually alive with emotion and imagination on the inside. They also have a unique relationship with silence. For many people, silence feels awkward, something to be filled with words. But inward souls are comfortable with it. To them, silence is not emptiness. It is space for thought, for presence, for connection beyond words. Sitting quietly with them can feel surprisingly intimate. You don't have to force conversation. just being together is enough. This comfort with silence is why they can be such grounding presences in friendships and relationships. Their creativity often springs from this inner life. Because they spend so much time reflecting and feeling inward, people frequently express themselves through art, writing music, or other creative outlets. Even if they're not artists by profession, they often have a rich, imaginative world. They might write in a journal sketch quietly or create playlists that reflect their moods. Creativity becomes a way to translate their complex inner emotions into something tangible. Yet alongside these beautiful traits, there is a paradox within them. On the one hand, they long for connection. On the other, they fear being misunderstood. They crave deep relationships, but they hesitate to let others in. They want to be seen, but they also want to protect their vulnerability. This tension often makes them seem contradictory, sometimes reaching out warmly, other times retreating suddenly. If you're close to an inward person, you may notice this push and pull, a dance between openness and withdrawal. Another trait is their loyalty. Once they choose to let you into their world, they rarely let go. They don't form relationships lightly, but when they do, they commit deeply. They stand by you in silence, offering support, even when they don't have the words. They don't forget the bonds they form. Even years later, they may remember small details, moments, or promises that others would have let fade. This loyalty makes them incredibly dependable, though it also means they can be deeply hurt if their trust is broken. Finally, inward souls are marked by their inner strength. At first glance, they may seem fragile because they are sensitive and quiet, but in reality, they often possess remarkable resilience. They can endure loneliness, face personal struggles, and carry unspoken burdens with quiet dignity. Their strength is not the loud, visible kind. It's the kind that endures silently, like a tree rooted deeply in the earth. This hidden strength makes them anchors in times of chaos. When you bring all these traits together, you see a picture of someone who is not simple but deeply layered. They are sincere, emotionally rich, quietly caring, reflective, creative, loyal, and resilient. They may not be easy to understand at first, but once you do, you realize how rare and valuable they are. To understand an inward person is to understand that depth is often hidden, silence is often full, and love can be quiet, yet unwavering. They remind us that not everything valuable shouts for attention. Sometimes the greatest treasures are found in the calm, steady hearts of those who live inwardly. To understand an inward soul fully, we must see them in their wholeness, not only the beauty of their qualities, but also the struggles they quietly face. Every strength comes with a shadow, every gift with a challenge. This duality does not make them weaker or stronger than others. It simply makes them human, living with both light and limitation. Let's walk through their strengths first, and then acknowledge the challenges that accompany them. The most striking strength of inward people is authenticity. They are not interested in playing roles to impress others. In a world where appearances are often crafted to gain approval, their refusal to wear masks makes them rare. When they show affection, it's genuine. When they speak, it's thoughtful. This honesty is refreshing, especially in relationships. People close to them often say, "With them, what you see is what you get." Another strength is their empathy and depth of understanding. Because they feel so intensely and spend much time reflecting, they are capable of profound compassion. If you've ever sat with an inward friend during a painful moment, you'll notice that they don't rush you to move on. They sit with you in your grief, listening quietly, offering presence rather than quick solutions. This ability to be present makes them wonderful friends, partners, and confidants. they also excel in listening and observing. Many people underestimate the power of listening, but inward souls turn it into an art. They notice not only what you say, but how you say it. The hesitations, the changes in your tone, the details others overlook. This attentiveness makes people feel seen in a way they rarely experience. When they respond, it's not just with words, but with understanding. Another strength is their creativity and imagination. Their inner world is rich, often overflowing with thoughts, emotions, and ideas. Many great writers, artists, and thinkers throughout history have been inward souls who transformed their reflections into masterpieces. Even if they don't pursue art, they often find creative ways to express themselves, whether in problem-solving journaling or nurturing others with thoughtful gestures. Inward people also demonstrate loyalty and reliability. Because they don't open up easily, their relationships are few but deep. Once they trust you, they commit fully. They don't abandon easily, and they hold on to promises with quiet seriousness. In times of chaos, you can rely on them to stand steady. Their loyalty is like an anchor. It doesn't shout, but it holds firm. Finally, one of their greatest strengths is inner resilience. Though they often carry burdens silently, they rarely collapse under them. Their quiet strength comes from endurance, from weathering storms internally, without needing external validation. This resilience makes them strong survivors in life, even if others don't always notice. But alongside these beautiful strengths come challenges. One limitation is their tendency to be misunderstood as distant or unfriendly. Because they don't share openly, others may assume they are cold or uninterested. This misunderstanding can isolate them further, reinforcing their natural tendency to retreat inward. They may long for connection, but appear to be pushing people away. Another challenge is their difficulty in expressing emotions outwardly. They may feel deeply, but they often struggle to put those feelings into words. For example, they might love someone profoundly, but rarely say, "I love you." Instead, they show it through small gestures. While this can be touching, it sometimes leaves others confused or insecure, wishing for clearer expressions of affection. Inward souls can also struggle with overthinking. Their reflective nature, while a strength, can easily become a trap. They replay conversations endlessly, analyze decisions from every angle, and sometimes paralyze themselves with doubt. Instead of moving forward, they stay stuck in cycles of what if and should I have. This overthinking can rob them of peace and delay important choices. Another limitation is their tendency toward loneliness. Because they open up slowly and carefully, their circle of close friends is often small. While this intimacy is valuable, it can also leave them feeling isolated, especially in times when they need support, but don't know how to reach out. Loneliness is not a lack of people, it's a lack of feeling understood. And inward souls with their depth often feel misunderstood, even when surrounded by others. Their ability to mask emotions can also backfire. While it protects them, it can prevent others from realizing they need help. People may assume they're fine because they smile when inside they're hurting. This silence can lead to emotional exhaustion as they carry more than they should without asking for support. Finally, inward souls often face the limitation of being overly self-critical. Because they think so much about their actions and words, they can be harsh on themselves. They may replay mistakes long after others have forgotten them, holding on to guilt or regret. This self-criticism can erode their confidence, making it harder for them to step forward boldly in life. What's important to understand is that these strengths and limitations are two sides of the same coin. Their empathy comes from their deep sensitivity, which also makes them vulnerable to overthinking. Their loyalty makes them trustworthy, but it can also make it hard for them to let go of relationships that hurt them. Their creativity stems from solitude, but solitude can also become loneliness. This balance is not something to fix, but something to embrace and manage. An inward soul is not broken because they struggle with expression. They are human living in a world that often favors loudness over silence. The challenge is not to change who they are, but to create spaces where their depth can be valued and their quiet strengths can shine. Think of inward souls as quiet rivers. On the surface, they may appear calm, still, even ordinary, but beneath the current runs strong and deep. To those who take the time to sit by the river to listen to its flow, a hidden beauty is revealed. But to those who rush by, it may look like nothing special. The truth is, their value has always been there. It simply takes patience to see. If you are an inward person, remember this. Your strengths are real and powerful, even if the world doesn't always notice them. Your challenges don't make you weak, they make you human. And if you love an inward person, know that their silence is not rejection, their hesitations are not coldness. They are simply offering you the rare gift of a soul that takes time to unfold. When we arrive at the final layer of understanding, inward souls, something becomes clear. Their way of living is not a weakness to be corrected, but a form of wisdom to be appreciated. In a society that often praises loud voices, fast action, and constant visibility, those who live inwardly remind us of another path, a path of depth, reflection, sincerity, and quiet strength. The meaning of their existence lies not in how much noise they make, but in how deeply they touch the world around them. Inward people often form fewer relationships, but the ones they do nurture are profound. They may not be the life of every party, but they are the quiet anchor in a friendship, the one who remembers your struggles long after others have forgotten. Their loyalty creates a safe space where others feel seen and valued. This hidden treasure cannot be measured in numbers of friends or followers. It is measured in depth, in the ability to hold someone's heart gently without demanding attention. In a world where many relationships are transactional, built on what we can get from others, inward souls offer something different presence. They may not say, "I'm here for you 100 times," but when the storm hits, they are there standing beside you quietly. That kind of companionship is rare, and its value cannot be overstated. Our modern world is obsessed with speed and surface scrolling, quickly speaking, quickly consuming, quickly. Inward souls stand as a counterbalance. They remind us that depth matters, that taking time to reflect, to listen, to feel is not wasted time. They encourage us to slow down, to look inward ourselves, to question not just what we are doing, but why we are doing it. Their presence is a silent protest against the culture of noise. They show us that silence can be rich, that stillness can be powerful, that not every truth needs to be shouted. In their quiet way, they invite others to rediscover the beauty of slowness and contemplation. Because inward souls do not always show what they feel, they are often misunderstood. Some see them as distant, cold, or difficult. But this misunderstanding is not a flaw in them, it is a flaw in our perception. We are so used to measuring worth by visibility that we forget the unseen can be equally, if not more valuable. Think of a tree. Its roots are hidden underground, unseen by the eye. Yet without those roots, the tree cannot stand, cannot grow, cannot bear fruit. Inward souls are like these roots. They do not always draw attention, but they provide stability, wisdom and nourishment in ways that cannot be easily seen. Their beauty is not on display, but it is vital. One of the key lessons inward souls teach us is the importance of balance. They thrive in solitude, drawing energy from time spent alone, but they also long for deep connection. This paradox reminds us that human beings need both the quiet of self-reflection and the warmth of companionship. For outward personalities, being around inward people can be a gentle invitation to rediscover the value of solitude. For inward personalities themselves, the journey is about learning to balance their private world with the connections that nourish them. Neither solitude nor connection is enough on its own. Together, they create harmony. Though they may not always be the loudest leaders or the most visible voices, inward souls play a vital role in society. They are the thinkers, the writers, the artists, the quiet supporters, the loyal friends. Their influence is often subtle but profound. A poem that touches thousands, a book that changes lives, or simply the quiet wisdom they share in a conversation. These are contributions that ripple far beyond what is visible. The world needs both types of people, the outward who energize and mobilize, and the inward who reflect and deepen. Without outward energy, society would stagnate. Without inward depth, it would lose meaning. Together, they balance the human story. If you identify as an inward soul, remember this: there is nothing wrong with your way of being. You don't need to force yourself to fit into the mold of constant extroversion. Your depth, your sincerity, your quiet strength are gifts. Yes, you may face challenges, loneliness, misunderstanding, overthinking, but these do not erase your value. They are part of the delicate balance that makes you who you are. It's important, however, to take care of yourself. Learn when to share your burdens instead of carrying them alone. Learn when to speak, even if it feels uncomfortable, so others can understand your needs. And learn that vulnerability is not weakness. It is a bridge that allows others to step into your world. For those who love or befriend inward souls, patience is the key. Don't rush them to open up. Don't assume their silence means disinterest. Instead, offer them the safety of consistency, the respect of listening, and the gift of time. When you do, you will find a richness of connection that few others can offer. Imagine a locked garden. Many will walk past it uninterested because it does not open easily. But for the few who wait, who earn trust, who find the key, what awaits inside is a sanctuary of beauty and peace. Inward souls are that garden closed at first glance, but once opened unforgettable. At its heart, living inwardly is about choosing depth over display. It is about valuing sincerity over performance, reflection over noise quality, over quantity. Inward souls remind us that life is not only about what is visible, but also about what is quietly felt. They teach us that the unseen can be as real as the seen, and that silence can speak louder than words. The meaning of living inwardly is not to escape the world, but to enrich it from within. Their presence may not always be obvious, but it shapes the world in subtle, enduring ways, through empathy, creativity, wisdom, and loyalty. So what is the value of inward souls? They are reminders of balance, keepers of sincerity, carriers of depth. They challenge us to look beyond the surface, to listen more, to slow down, and to feel more deeply. Their way of living is not for everyone, but it is essential for the whole. If you see yourself in these words, take comfort. You are not alone, and your way of being is not a flaw, but a gift. And if you see someone else in these words, offer them patience and understanding. You may be standing before a soul richer than you realize. In the end, the world doesn't only need voices that fill the air, it also needs silences that hold meaning. It doesn't only need the light that dazzles, it also needs the shadows that give it depth. And inward souls with their quiet presence are the ones who hold that depth for all of us. Through the reflections above, we can see that inward souls are not weak, fragile, or detached from life. They are in many ways mirrors of ancient wisdom, their quiet depth, their careful attention, their ability to carry both joy and sorrow in silence, all resonate strongly with the philosophy of Stoicism. The Stoics, who lived more than 2,000 years ago, believed that true strength is not found in outward displays of power, but in mastery of the inner world. When we compare the inward life with the Stoic life, we find a harmony that reveals both beauty and meaning. The Stoics valued silence not as emptiness, but as discipline. Epictetus, once a slave who became a philosopher, taught that we should be mostly silent, or speak only what is necessary. This mirrors the inward soul's natural comfort with silence. While the modern world treats silence as awkward, both inward people and Stoics see it as fertile ground, where thoughts deepen, where emotions settle, where wisdom grows. An inward person who listens intently, who doesn't rush to speak, is practicing something the Stoics admired: restraint. They know that words have power, and that speaking without thought often causes harm. Just as a Stoic would pause before reacting, the inward soul pauses before revealing. This pause is not weakness, it is control. One of the key marks of inward souls is their ability to mask emotions. Outwardly, they may smile, laugh, or remain calm, while inside they feel deeply. Some see this as dishonesty, but from a Stoic lens, it is discipline. The Stoics taught that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and Stoic thinker, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When inward people carry sorrow without spilling it into chaos, when they hold back anger, rather than lashing out, they are unconsciously practicing Stoic mastery. Their restraint is not the denial of emotion, but the transformation of it into inner resilience. They understand, perhaps without words, that the storms of the heart can be endured quietly with dignity. Stoicism rejected the pursuit of shallow recognition. Seneca wrote that the wise man seeks not applause, but integrity. In the same way, inward souls live for depth rather than display. They are not concerned with being the loudest voice in the room or the most visible presence in society. Instead, they cultivate sincerity, loyalty, and depth of thought values that echoes Stoic principles of virtue. In a culture obsessed with likes and appearances, inward souls and Stoics both remind us what matters is not how many people see you, but how deeply you live according to truth. It is better to be genuine in silence than loud in falsehood. For many, solitude feels like loneliness. For inward souls, solitude is often a source of renewal. They retreat not to escape life, but to reflect upon it, to create, to listen inwardly. This is precisely what Stoics practice. Marcus Aurelius often retreated into himself, even while leading armies, to write in his journal, later known as Meditations. He described the ability to return to the inner citadel, a mental fortress of peace and clarity that no external chaos could shake. Inward souls naturally build this inner citadel. Their habit of holding emotions, reflecting deeply, and finding strength in stillness is a modern echo of Marcus's wisdom. They too find peace not in the noise of the crowd, but in the quiet conversation with themselves. Stoicism teaches us to love others deeply, while also remembering that nothing external is truly ours to control. This is why Stoics practice both compassion and detachment. Similarly, inward souls embody this paradox. They are loyal and caring once they open up, but they also protect their inner world with strong boundaries. They give their heart slowly, but when they do, it is with sincerity. This carefulness is not coldness, it is wisdom. Stoicism warns against being enslaved by passion or attachment. Inward souls seem to understand this intuitively. They love, but they also know how to retreat. They are devoted, but they do not need constant validation. This balance allows them to sustain relationships without losing themselves. Of course, Stoicism also acknowledges the struggles inward souls face: overthinking, loneliness, self-criticism. But Stoics would say these challenges are not curses, they are opportunities. Every difficulty is a chance to practice virtue. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When inward people wrestle with overthinking, they are being invited to practice clarity. When they feel loneliness, they are being called to strengthen their inner companionship. When they criticize themselves, they are being challenged to learn self-compassion. Stoicism teaches that obstacles are not the end of the road, but the road itself. And inward souls, with their reflective nature, are particularly suited to turn trials into lessons. In today's loud and chaotic world, Stoicism and inward living are both countercultural. To remain calm, while others panic to stay silent, while others shout to hold depth, while others skim the surface. These are revolutionary acts. They remind us that peace is not found in controlling the world, but in mastering ourselves. Imagine if more people adopted this quiet power. Arguments would be fewer, empathy would be greater, and strength would no longer be confused with volume. The inward soul, like the Stoic sage, embodies this possibility. Their presence is a reminder that calmness is strength, silence is wisdom, and depth is love. Through the reflections above, we see that inward souls are not only individuals with unique traits. They are living examples of Stoic principles in modern form. Their silence is discipline. Their hidden emotions are resilience. Their loyalty is virtue. Their solitude is philosophy. If you are an inward soul, take heart, you are walking a path the Stoics themselves would admire. Your quiet way of being is not less, it is more. It is a gift the world needs, especially now. And if you know someone like this, treat them with patience and respect. Behind their calm eyes is a world of wisdom waiting to be understood. So, warrior, as you finish this journey, I ask you, where are you watching this from, and what time is it for you? Are you sitting in the stillness of night or the quiet of morning? Whatever your answer, carry this with you. The Stoics believe that every moment, no matter how ordinary, is a chance to practice peace. And every inward soul, including you, has the power to build that peace within. As we close this journey, warrior, let's take a moment to pause and breathe. Over the past reflections, we have explored what it means to live inwardly, from the quiet signs of an inward soul to their distinctive traits, their strengths and struggles, and even how their way of being mirrors the wisdom of Stoicism. What we've discovered is simple but profound. The inward life is not something to fix or overcome. It is a gift, a rare quiet treasure in a world that often forgets how to listen. If you see yourself in these words, know that your silence is not emptiness, your depth is not weakness, and your solitude is not loneliness. They are the roots of your strength. You may not always be understood by the world, but that does not erase your value. In fact, it highlights it, Because while many chase noise and attention, you hold something different: sincerity, loyalty, and the ability to care in ways that words cannot always express. And if you love someone who lives inwardly, remember, this patience is the bridge. Behind their reserved face is a heart that feels deeply, often more deeply than they can show. Give them time, listen with care, and you will discover a connection unlike any other, steady, honest, and lasting. The Stoics taught us that peace is found not in controlling the world, but in mastering ourselves. Inward souls live this truth every day, often without even realizing it. Their silence is their discipline. Their hidden depths are their resilience. Their loyalty is their virtue. Their solitude is their wisdom. They are, in their own quiet way, the living echoes of ancient philosophy in our modern times. So warrior, as you step away from this video, carry this reminder with you. Your inner world is a fortress. Guard it, nurture it, and let it shine in the ways that feel true to you. You don't need to be loud to be strong. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. You already carry within you the calm, steady strength that the world desperately needs. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read each one. And I'd love to know how this message meets you in your own moment of reflection. And if this journey has touched you, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Together, we'll continue exploring the wisdom of philosophy, the power of inner calm, and the beauty of living authentically. Take care, warrior. May you carry peace in your heart, strength in your spirit, and kindness in your actions. Until next time, stay calm, stay grounded, and remember, the inward soul is not alone. You are part of a greater story, and your quiet light matters more than you know.